This government affairs is going to be meeting is going to be a little different. We're going to feature the county and the city and how they've responded and initiatives that they've provided. We're gonna from the county, we've got Supervisor Jim Desmond, and from the city of San Marcos, Mayor Rebecca Jones. I'll unmute their mics when they present, and then we'll have some time for some questions. Put your questions in the chat room, and then I'll answer them. And I think this will work great. So again, also from the city and the county, our regular attendees to the government affairs, Kristal, Jabara, and Tess Sangster. So I appreciate you coming on. And I see that Supervisor Desmond is here, so I'm going to unmute Supervisor Desmond. Jim, can you hear me? Are you good to go?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, hey, thanks for doing this. Thanks for having it's this early morning meeting. Appreciate it. And I'll just give you a quick update of what pretty much of your similar to the updates I've been giving from my office, but just to kind of tell you where we are with the county. Right now, we've got 1,530 cases of testing positive in San Diego County. And that's the number that we have since we started testing, 1,530. Unfortunately, we've had 36 deaths related to the coronavirus in San Diego County. And out of the total specimens that we tested is 21,178 people have been tested. So 21,000 tested. And out of that, the 1,530 is really only about 7.5% of those tested actually have the virus. And not to belittle the deaths, but only 2% of the 7% that have the virus have died from it. And there's also a statistic, we've been testing now for, 4 or 5 weeks, and 247 people out of that 1,530 have already gone through the 14-day isolation. However, we still keep the numbers. The number that the county is giving out at 1,530 does not take people off the list. So we've had about 250 that have actually come off the list because they've gone through that the 14-day quarantine requirement. Just to give you a heads up, I don't want to steal the mayor's thunder, but in San Marcos you have 20 cases in the city of San Marcos, which is relatively low compared to some other areas in the county. And one of the things we're stressing is basically, everybody knows if you have a business and you've got public coming or going into your business and you have to wear the mask, the employees all have to have masks, and all the social distancing and things like that. But one of the things I'd like to kind of get out of, some of the business folks here today is, how do we get you back to work? Because I know the county, we're focused on stopping the virus. And I think we're doing a good job we haven't stopped it, but really that rate has not changed, that less than 10% rate of people tested having the virus in San Diego County. It really hasn't changed. We're testing more people and we're finding more cases, but the rate of what we're coming up with testing positive has stayed pretty constant. So I guess what I want to know is if there's any impediments to people that are shut down or businesses that are closed down, what we could potentially do to, as the county or government, get out of your way so you can open up again. If there's if there's inspections that need to be done, or if there's anything else that's impeding businesses from starting back up once this, we turn this corner and flatten out the curve. And I don't think it's going to be like a switch being flipped on and everybody goes back to work. It's probably going to be, instead of, no groups of 10, it's going to go to maybe no groups of 50, maybe no groups of over 100 and things like that. So I'd be interested to hear if anybody thinks they have any impediments or things we could do to help them get their people back to work. That would be very interesting for me today and my staff. Thanks.
Jim, what I'm going to do? We've got a group that I think I'm just going to unmute everyone and just go ahead if anybody wants to respond to. You've got control now over your mic, so you can mute or unmute. If you want to go ahead and respond to what Jim said, if anybody would want to respond to that.
Catch up on projects.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest things I've seen is just the who's essential and who isn't. I think some of that's going to be the question of getting things back, and it's um, what I found fascinating in this process is just how there's so many pockets throughout the country, throughout the states, and I feel like California's really been in the forefront of getting in front of this quickly, and certainly here in San Diego County and San Marcos as well. And I think it's shown that everything, the precautions, as painful, as excruciating as it has been for the small businesses, has really paid off from a health standpoint. And I think people realize that the sooner they do that, and the harder it is, the quicker they are going to be able to get back to business. And the other comment I've got too is just that I've been so impressed with the creativity in such a safe manner too of businesses, and how they've rallied to be able to continue to do business just in a different manner.
Yeah, one of the complaints we have had quite a bit is, am I essential or am I not essential? We had the issue with golf courses. We had the issue with gun stores. Had issues with realtors. I had a very frustrating email from somebody the other day. It said, marijuana shops and liquor stores are essential, but not my business. So there's some frustration out there too, and quite frankly, it's some of it's a very I'm concerned about as well. And so we're trying to do the best we can with what we have and quell the virus. But I think we have to start thinking about how do we get things going again.
Jim, can you talk a little bit about, we had sent out an email, I believe it was not yesterday, 2 days ago, in regards to property tax relief. And I know you and Supervisor Gaspar wrote a letter to Dan McAllister and are pushing on a new type of plan. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Well, unfortunately, property taxes are due tomorrow. So if there's any relief, it's a little bit late, but we have been, Supervisor Gaspar and myself and Dan McAllister, actually the three of us, sent a letter to the governor asking for some type of relief. And unfortunately that didn't get very far. And what we found out essentially is it's up to the state and the state legislatures to change that date or change the move the date back for April 10th. But we do and now I guess the governor a week ago, I didn't see it, I've only heard about it, is the fact that the local tax collector has some discretion. And what we're trying to do is lift any fees or penalties. So even if we kept the April 10th date, we wouldn't charge any fees or penalties, until June 10th or May 10th or something like that. That's the relief we were looking for. And even possibly the Restaurant Owners Association came up with a potential solution, and that would be, okay, you have to pay 20% of your tax tomorrow, April 10th. And then maybe over an installment plan that has a minor interest rate to it or something like that over the next 12 months or period of time that you would be able to pay back the balance. Unfortunately, what I found out in this is government entities are very good at protecting other government entities, and they don't, the schools and everything else that, derive their revenues from those property taxes would be hurting. Chris and Gaspar and my focus was on the people that are actually paying those taxes and all the businesses and small businesses and restaurants and boutiques and places like that that are shut down. I mean, they're the ones that are hurting, and they're the ones that actually have to pay this tax. No, it's not those who benefit from the tax. So we've been pushing for that, crossing our fingers here, but tomorrow's a deadline, and I'm hoping for an announcement today from the states, and they're gonna give some sort of relief, but I haven't heard anything yet.
Well, when the governor says the tax collector has some leeway here, what did he mean by that? You didn't address that.
And I'm not completely sure what it is. What our assessor has, and what our tax collector has the authority to do is after April 10th, if you have not paid your taxes in full, you can submit a request for relief on payment on penalties or fines. But unfortunately, you're taking the risk then of after the fact of having 100% of those penalties and fines. So it's not a very good system as far as you have to commit the crime and then hopefully ask for forgiveness. Well, we're trying to get the forgiveness ahead of the deadline date. And so those are types of things, but there's lots of pressure from different angles, and it's not as simple as I think, or most people think, I guess, as far as what entities then, maybe teachers don't get paid. Maybe, I'm not sure how that all works out, but there's some ramifications with any adjustment. But I think the small business owners and things like that are ones that are actually paying that tax need the relief.
Well, and households also, yes.
Are there any other questions? Any other questions for Supervisor Desmond?
I do have one more question. Sure. Oh, go ahead, Jim.
I can stick around till about 8:30, then I have another briefing. So thanks.
I just wanted you to address again, you said, how can we get you back to work after this is over? And when you say after this is over, what are you talking about? I heard that the county of San Diego, the city of San Diego, which is a different city than ours, obviously, but that they have extended everything through the month of April. So you're not suggesting anything sooner than that. Is that correct?
No, but I would like to get some plans in place, or if there's roadblocks we can remove or start working on instead of trying to do it last minute. If there's any impediments that might slow somebody down from opening back up their store or opening back up the restaurant or whatever it may be. If we can remove, if you think of any, if you know of any, if there's things we can remove any of those roadblocks now and have plans in place. And when we, I think it's going to be a slow procession back to normalcy. It's not going to be a flip of a switch, but so those are the kinds of things if they're out there, we can try to address them now and get that handled.
Thank you.
With that being said too, I mean, this is, it seems like there's something new that comes up every day during this pandemic too. So if there is information that you want to get to the supervisor, use the chamber. Kristal's on this call too, and she's been great as far as the communication. So the supervisor's office has been great and always, answering questions right away. So just probably the easiest way to do that is to take advantage of your chamber membership and just reach out to me, and I can get that information to Jim's office.
That's right.
Any other questions for Supervisor Desmond? Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everybody again and then turn it over to Mayor Jones.
Good morning, everyone. How are you all? Can you hear me okay? Good. I see.
Rebecca, hang on just a second. I'm going to mute everybody and I'm going to go back and unmute you, okay? Okay, you should be good.
All right, thank you. So in San Marcos, this is uncharted territory for really all of us, but we're in this together. So we're just trying to remain calm. We're trying to be flexible because, again, the county is, making changes every day because it is such a dynamic situation. And as Jim Desmond had mentioned, we have about 20 people in our city that have contracted the COVID-19 virus. But anyway, so safety is our top priority. We have a fully staffed, all of our sheriff department, and then also our first responders. And so what we're trying to do is just be flexible. We are also trying to make sure that we're serving our customers, which is you, our residents, as much as possible. So you can reach us through the city app. That's still up and running. That's Report a Concern. But then we also have a lot of people that are working remotely. All of our counters are closed, and we're every day we're updating all of the things that are happening, the closures and that sort of thing. We are still encouraging people to go out and support our local businesses, because it's really important, because as Supervisor Desmond had said, our recovery is going to be really important here. And so making sure that we have all of our essential services covered is one of our top priorities. We want to make sure that people understand business can still remain fluid and happening as far as processing and those sorts of things. And construction is a big concern. People say, well, why are people out building things still? Well, that's considered an essential service. So our $104 million creek project is still moving forward. I was actually driving yesterday to the dry cleaners and to grab my coffee at Better Buzz yesterday. And it's moving along. There's land moving going on, which is great to see, because in times like this especially, we have the rain, and so it's important to see that moving along. That is supposed to be done the end of next year. And so again, we're trying to keep people calm. So what we did specifically for our businesses is we set aside $3 million of our general fund for short-term loans up to 2 years, and that is our sustainability program. We approved that at our last council meeting, and I think that was really a step for us to prove to our community and help our community in the recovery efforts. And so anywhere up to $50,000 is our loan program, again, up to 2 years in length. So we've had over $2.5 million worth of requests, and we have, I think it's over 90 applications so far. We've approved, I believe it's over 60, maybe over 65 of those, and it's about 1,100 employees that these businesses are employing in our city. So that's, that's an important thing, because again, we want to keep San Marcos residents and workforce, working as much as possible. And I believe, and Tess can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we've approved over almost 9 million, or I'm sorry, almost 1.9 million. So almost $2 million in loans so far. The good thing is that we can fund those pretty quickly, and we'll be getting an update on that pretty shortly here. But, investing in our community, investing in our local businesses has been really important for us. And as a council, we've always been very proactive in helping our businesses. I think a lot of I tirelessly am trying to get people to, frequent our businesses. Oh, and let me talk a little bit about our city website. So if you go to san-marcos.net, which is our city website, we have a COVID-19 page that specifically talks about everything that we are doing as a city, but it also promotes the businesses that are open for business right now today that you can help frequent. And if you don't want to go there, you can still purchase gift cards and things like that, but really trying to help the businesses in this time is really important, because I think there's an estimate of like 60% of all restaurants are not going to make it through this COVID-19 emergency. And so if we look at that, that's really concerning, I think, to us, because, we have a well-rounded sort of economy here in San Marcos, but, you can't go to all of the businesses. Not all of them have storefronts. And, like Dahlman Chocolate was running a little 30% off kind of promotion. And so if you go to the city website, you can find out about different things, but there are all these different Facebook pages and all of that are promoting businesses as well. And, it's really about us sticking together and recognizing the fact that it's a tough time. We've never seen this in our lifetime, but we will get through it. And, we also have the HERO program that I'd like to mention. And that is, helping stop the spread of the virus. Wash your hands. It's pretty simple. Make sure that you're wearing the face cloth as the county has directed. And social distancing is really important. I was at the post office the other day because I had to mail some things to my family members outside of the city. And it's interesting how I think things are going to change, but we need to also remember that we need to follow the government directions, and that's part of the HERO information. And then again, educating ourselves, figuring out what is truth and reality. There are so many things. If you don't do this, you're not going to get COVID-19. If you do that, then then you will. And so it's all of these, it's hard to wade through all of the information out there. So really go to reliable government sources. And then remaining calm, that's part of the HERO program too, because it's so easy to get wrapped up in all of the excitement of it all. And, just really just looking at how things are changing. And again, it's ever evolving, but there's no reason to be terrified because we still need to live our lives, right? And when this does come back, as Supervisor Desmond had mentioned, it's going to not happen overnight. It's going to be something that we are intentionally having to choose. We're going to have to choose to move forward, figure out how we can get people back to work, because our economy is really important too. And so, one of the things that you can do too is opt in for alerts, and you can opt in for the city alerts and then also the county alerts. If you go to the county website and you scroll down on their COVID-19 response page, you can actually sign in for text message alerts that come in every single day in the late afternoon. And then you can click on that and then find out what the latest information for that day is. So the HERO program is help, educate, or remain calm, and then also opt in for those alerts. And so I'd like to open it up for questions. It's, again, it's a time where we've never seen. It's unprecedented, but I truly believe that our resiliency will shine through all of this. And it's a time for us to help one another. If you have a neighbor that needs staples and that sort of thing, I think it's really important for us to really come together and help folks. And, call up a friend that maybe doesn't have family that's near, and just, encourage one another. I think that's really important right now in this day and age. So I'll open it up for comments or questions. And thank you so much, Rick. I also wanted to thank you for inviting me and allowing us this time. And Tess, I don't know if you had any response, if I missed anything. I think I went over everything, but you're working it day in and day out. So you're in the trenches, shall we say. So anyway, I'd like to maybe open it up for Tess if she had any additions, and then maybe open for questions.
Okay, thanks, Mayor Jones. I'm going to unmute everybody's mic. So if you have questions, and then also if you don't have a question, just mute your mic. But you have control over your mic now. So, but if you do have a question, please, you do have access to your mic now.
Do you mind if I just include one more thing, Rick?
No, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, what we're seeing, we've funded about $1 million as of today and we've approved, like the mayor said, over 60 businesses. And what we're seeing is that this money to these businesses is a huge boon for them, because the federal government isn't able to act as quickly. And so it's kind of like that gap funding for them before they get those EIDL loans or 7A loans, the PPP program. So it's been just so incredible that the city is able to do this for businesses. So I feel really honored to be part of it.
Thanks, Tess. I do want to say, because I know Supervisor Desmond said he's got until 8:30. So before he goes, I do want to thank everything that the supervisor and the mayor are doing. The city and the county are doing a great job to keep us safe, to keep us informed, to help our small businesses. I think they're just working around the clock to really help in a time where a lot of us feel helpless. So not only thanks for coming out today, but thanks for all the hard work and appreciate all the updates and everything that you guys do. And please keep reaching out to the chamber. This is what we're here for. We're here to inform, provide the resources, and help our small businesses survive this crisis. Okay, any questions for Mayor Jones?
Really? No questions? By the way, did you notice my background?
Yeah, it's North City.
It is. Look, it's when the tree was being the 100-year tree was being. You know, I thought it was appropriate because Rick, you know, now that you're located in North City, I thought that, hey, why not seem like I'm really there?
No, it looks great. I feel like I'm in the office. It's
Yeah.
I as soon as I saw that, my first thought was, I've got to steal that. It's perfect.
Well, you know what's funny is I don't even know how I did it. I'm one of those people, I'm not super tech savvy. I know enough to get me in trouble, but I figured it out. I went, oh, wait, I'll just push this and see what happens. And then voila, it was there. And I went, oh, great. So anyway, you know, I think I would like to also mention that, you know, we're in business here in the city because of all of you. And I think
Bye, Jim.
Hi, Jim. I think it's important to recognize that our businesses are really important to us. And, you know, I know you're all struggling. And I think it's really a time for us to be grateful for all of the things that we do. But I think this short-term loan program is really important. And, you know, we've had so many years, really historically, our entire life of our city, which is like 57 years, it has been such an honor to extend all of the successes that we've had for so many years. And that is that we've been fiscally responsible. We've always been able to put away money and, you know, provide our services for the community. But I think now is really the time where all of that good leadership really has led us to this point where we can help you, our businesses. And I encourage anyone that hasn't already applied to please apply. We want to make sure that you're here when we are coming back. And again, you know, I always say one of the best things about our community is our volunteers. And, you know, Kathleen, I see you're there. You won that award so many times for being such an activist and a person that really believes in our community and our businesses. So really, how can we, and I would love to hear ideas, how can we better serve you and come up with ideas that are flexible? You know, in ways, you know, I personally work tirelessly to help encourage people to come to San Marcos, to do business, to frequent our businesses. Is there anything more that we can possibly do that would be helpful to you? I think that's, you know, such an important part of it. And, you know, also making sure that you as our businesses are out and figuring out new ways to evolve during this crisis. Because, you know, I know there were, I think the old mining company opened back up. You know, a lot of businesses, specifically our restaurants, haven't been, you know, big into the to-go orders or delivery and all of that. So anytime you have a great idea or thoughts that might be another way, I encourage you to share them with other business owners, because all of our businesses work together. And, you know, we have, okay, Tess, you can help me out here. It's over 4,000, but is it 4,500 businesses in our community?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have a lot of businesses here in San Marcos. So if you have an idea that even might not pertain to your business, but you have, you know, think, oh, well, maybe that other business would really thrive and this might help them stay in business, please share them. Because again, this is a brainstorming thing where we have to come up with new ideas to really get through this. And, you know, it's a terrible term, but I say it's spitballing, where you come up with all these different ideas and you throw them against the wall. Maybe they don't work for you, but maybe there's another business that could benefit from that knowledge. So I would say, as business owners and people that are in our community day in and day out for all of these years, figure out how to help another business too. And if you're hoarding toilet paper, please stop. Sorry, I actually finally got some, but I know I have many neighbors and friends that go, I can't find any toilet paper. I'm like, hey, I'll give you 4 rolls, but please give them back if you get some. So anyway, again, help one another, and that means many different things in this circumstance. It could be business help with encouraging another business. Hey, I thought of this idea, but it doesn't work for me. Maybe it'll work for your business. I think again, back to the volunteerism, I think that's a really important part of all of this.
Any questions for Mayor Jones? Okay, I do. I know. I did want to throw it to Kristal. If there's anything that you would like to add, I know you put a couple items in the chat room for as far as contact information for the supervisor's office and for additional information from the county. Anything else you'd like to add?
Thank you, Rick. And I'm having a problem with my audio, so I'm on video and the telephone. So if it sounds weird, that's why. No, I'm putting in the chat screen my email address, the San Diego County Coronavirus website page where you can get information. And I also want to remind people that if they have maybe neighbors that are having an issue getting food, maybe they can't leave, maybe they're more of a vulnerable population, 211 is always available for people to call. So please use that, share that with your neighbors, with other people. I know a lot of the questions are coming on the state and federal level about business assistance. So I think that's top priority for a lot of people. If you're struggling and can't get through to either a state or federal leader, please reach out to us. We can help you with that as well. And thank you to the Chamber for all the information they're pushing out. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Kristal. We wanted to feature the city and the county, and then I see we've got some other representatives that usually report out during these meetings. So I'll get to you guys next. I just did want to say a couple things from a Chamber perspective. We are constantly updating our COVID-19 resource page. We've got links in there to the city. The city has, as the mayor had mentioned, a great website with a ton of information. So you can find a link to the city's website on our website. In addition to that, information from the SBA, from Cal Chamber, from U.S. Chamber, from the county. The biggest issue and the questions I get asked the most is everything about the CARES Act and PPP and everybody. It's just been so challenging for everybody, for the business owners, for the banks. In fact, we have this will be on our website later today. We've scheduled a webinar on April 15th next week with a representative from the U.S. Chamber who's going to discuss the CARES Act and answer any questions that you may have with regards to that. The other thing on our website is the Open for Business page. We update that as well, so the businesses that are open. We feature obviously the Chamber members because we appreciate your support and confidence in our organization, and so we're promoting you on that page as well as social media. But we also have a link to the city's Open for Business page too, to make sure that everybody's included in the community. And then we added a nonprofit link to that as well. So we talk about small businesses and they're feeling the brunt of the hit, but the nonprofits are small businesses too, and they're really having challenges, and so we wanted to make sure we included them. And if we've missed anybody, please let us know, because it is a challenge. But we've got logos and links to them, and also our partners in the healthcare and higher ed. They all have foundations that are having challenges too. I live with one, so we've got links to their pages as well. So now I want to go around the room. We still have some time, so if I miss anybody, let me know. But I guess just looking around the squares, I'm going to start with Rourke.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Rick. Rourke Shanley here on behalf of Assembly Leader Marie Waldron, and just want to start with a shout out for Mayor Jones and Supervisor Jim Desmond, who have both been doing an excellent job leading during this very challenging time. Assembly Leader Waldron and her office are open, and we are working very hard right now. So we are here to assist, you as business owners with information, with resources during this very challenging time for our local business community. Local small businesses have been hit, I think, impacted especially hard. Everyone's been impacted, but our business community has been especially impacted. So we want to be as great help as we can by providing you resources and information. So a couple updates on the state side. At the state level, there has been $50 million allocated to the California Infrastructure and Economic Development Bank to guarantee loans to small businesses that may not qualify for an SBA disaster loan or a PPP loan. So something to think about. If you haven't applied with SBA yet, we can help you get that process started and can coordinate with the federal side. But if you're having some trouble there is these funds coming, $50 million, that could assist you there as well. California will also allow small businesses to defer payment for sales and use taxes up to $50,000 for up to 12 months. So some good help coming there from the state side. Assembly Leader Waldron has also made a point to support our local realtor community. I don't know if there are any realtors on the line today. She sent a letter of support to the governor's office to designate realtors as essential service providers during this COVID-19 outbreak. As you know, the governor's executive order did not include realtors as essential, and we think that is a mistake on his end. Realtors provide residential real estate recordings and transfer, residential lease execution renewal, and residential property management. All these services are essential for people who are trying to sell their home, who are trying to move into a new home, and for families that are struggling financially, who need to refinance their home to stay afloat during this challenging time. A realtor could be essential for that process. So we wanted to make sure that everyone's aware that we are supporting realtors in that way, and we hope to see the governor take some action on that end. Lastly, in regards to unemployment insurance, economic development department, as you mentioned, Rick, the Federal CARES Act has passed through both houses of Congress now. This will allow the Economic Development Department to provide some additional resources to employees and employers who need unemployment insurance, including the self-employed. Currently, there has been a lack of services available to those who are self-employed, who work from home, independent contractors. With the new resources available through the CARES Act, EDD will now be able to provide unemployment insurance to those individuals. It extends benefits for those who have exhausted their current benefits for up an additional 13 weeks. And it also provides an additional $600 in unemployment insurance benefits to those who apply due to reasons related to COVID-19. Now, EDD is waiting for some guidance from the U.S. Treasury Department on how to roll this out, but they expect to get things started this week, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on that and as things go. Similarly to the City of San Marcos, on the Assembly Leaders web page, we have links to tons of local resources, information regarding COVID-19. So I'll post that page in the comments here. And I can't give you my business card, so I'll also post my my email. So if you do have any issues, questions, need help with SBA loans or EDD, please send me an email, and we are more than happy to help you navigate the process. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Rourke. Aaron?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right, great. So as Rourke said, he covered a lot of things on the state side. I'm Aaron Andrews. I'm here on behalf of State Senator Brian Jones. A couple of technical things that people need to be aware of. The legislature has postponed going back into session to May 4th. Originally, they were going to go back from their spring break on April 13th, next Monday. but that was pushed out. And then with the so the legislative session is going to be adjusted a little bit. The good news on that is that there's not going to be as many bills introduced this session because they're just not going to have enough time to go through the process for that. So we'll see how that works out. With personal income taxes being postponed, but to July 15th. Unfortunately, that does affect the California budget. There was a memo that was put out that the California budget is going to be delayed. Normally, the taxes come in April, they do a May revise, they vote on it, and then the budget has to be completed by June 30th, so the new budget can start on July 1st. That process is now going to be delayed. They're now looking at doing an August revise, and then voting on a final budget in sometime in end of August, beginning of September. So as that comes out when they get back into legislative session, we'll be able to update everybody on that. Senator Jones, one of the things that he has with all of the COVID is getting back and giving back to the community. Now's a great time to volunteer. Over the past couple of weeks, he's hosted 3 blood drives, and he's looking to host more of those. And as those come out, we'll let everybody know. And he's encouraging everyone at this time to volunteer, to get involved with your community, and give back a little bit if you're able to do that. So like everyone else has, I'm going to post in the comments. The senator has a website, a COVID website that has a lot of resources. And if you have any issues or any concerns with any of the state agencies, please give us a call. We're working hard to make those contacts, help people go through those filings. We get a lot of questions about EDD, about the SBA loans, etc. And so if you have any questions on those or need some help with that, please let us know. We're here to support you. Thanks.
Thanks, Aaron. Christine, do you have anything?
Not this morning. Thank you.
Thanks. I want to thank Cliff for letting me take the reins today. As you know, usually Cliff is our moderator and leads this group. So Cliff, do you have anything to add? You're on mute, but you're saying no, I think. No, it is. Okay, anybody else have anything, any questions? As you can hear, there's a lot of great resources out there for everyone. A lot of great information. If I missed anybody that had a report, or if anybody has any questions we still have several people still on this call. So anybody else for the good of the cause? Okay, I want to thank everybody for coming today. I think it worked pretty well for our first virtual government affairs. It's such a good group, and I want to expand this group too, because again, there's so much great information. We'll keep adding webinars and getting information out as quickly as we can. Our office is open. Our phone goes directly to my cell phone. I've gotten some interesting calls. Actually, probably the most calls I get, Tess, you would appreciate this, is farmers market. I get multiple calls. I had somebody yelling at me yesterday or Tuesday, because Tuesday was our usual day. She's like, "Where am I going to get my produce?" So it was interesting, but it just shows people are. It's hard. It's taking a toll on everyone, and everybody wants to get back to some sense of normal life. But it's great to see how everybody's responded, helping each other, and that starts with leadership. And we've got great leadership, and we appreciate everything everyone's doing. So take care. Please let me know if there's anything the chamber can do to help. That's why we're here, more now than ever, here to help you and your businesses. So have a great day, and thanks again.
Thanks, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.